Hello guys, welcome to Top Anime Sensei. This video is the continuation video after Diablo's emergency call. So if you have not watched it, then please watch it. The link is in the description. So without any further delay, let's start. But before we start, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Shion's vigilance was maxed out, beyond mine even, although I did sort of understand where she was coming from, given the current situation and time. And also how her group was supposed to be my bodyguards. It was her job to protect me from unnecessary danger. I wasn't a particularly cautious person, so I figured it'd be better to listen to my subordinates in this regard. Rightfully so, Diablo agreed. You do not need to heed the opinions of a man like Raisin. Naturally, that extends to me as well. He sounded so genuine, but most likely he just sought to avoid any hassles. If my two secretaries were against it, then I'd refuse the offer. That's what I was about to say, until I noticed Adalman fidgeting out of the corner of my eye. Poor Adalman. I totally got how he was feeling. It was like when you were about to leave a meeting with your boss, and a visitor suddenly came in, or the phone rang. Disturbing your boss was a no-go, so you just had to sit there helplessly, watching the time tick by. All you wished for was to go home. This happened way too often at the office. It was just me. Whatever, it doesn't matter anyway. Adalman, sorry I got sidetracked. I've said everything I had to say. You can leave now. No, you don't need to worry about us. The thing is, actually, about this person called Gadra whom you were talking about. Yes, he might be a friend whom I once knew. What? I caught myself staring at Adalman unintentionally. He was getting anxious and fidgety. No, I don't think you're a traitor. He was shaking so bad that I wanted to tell him that. I told Diablo to put the reply on hold and asked Adalman for more details. It turned out that Gadra and Adalman were friends more than 1,000 years ago. Adalman presumed he had died already, but since Gadra was an archmage, he said it wasn't outside the realm of possibility for him to have extended his lifespan, using the secret art he created. After all, the person who used the mystic art reincarnation and saved Adalman's life was apparently the same Gadra. He also happened to know the name Raisin, and thought that he was one of Gadra's oldest and greatest disciples. After listening to a couple more tidbits, it appeared as though the person in question really was the Gadra whom Adalman had once known. Diablo. Understood. I will arrange a date and time and prepare for the meeting. As expected from the useful secretary, I need but only call him, and he understands my intention. The hopeless secretary didn't have any objections, so I decided to have a meeting with Gadra. For the first time, Shinji and his gang experienced resurrection after getting killed on the 60th floor. When they returned, they were greeted with all kinds of reactions from the many spectators, ranging from boos over their loss to words of consolation. Battles in the labyrinth were broadcasted exclusively, and the trio's fights garnered a lot of popularity. Of course, they could have refused to let their battles get broadcasted, since that was part of an opt-in agreement, for two reasons. However, Shinji decided to allow it. Firstly, they would receive a cut of the profits earned by broadcasting their battles. Secondly, he figured that if they became famous, it would guarantee their safety. After all, they were in the heart of enemy territory, and getting assassinated was less likely if they were well known. Besides, they were told that only the boss battles would be aired, so they didn't have to be mindful of it the entire time. They were sure to profit quite a bit from this, so Shinji had no reason to decline. The other two didn't complain either, hence, they accepted the contract, and the outcome was this reaction by the people around them. That was unfortunate. Looks like you'll have to train a bit more and try again. No way, that was impossible. What the hell were those monstrosities? That swordsman was wicked fast, and the skeleton sitting on the throne, that was a legendary monster, right? Probably a white king. Even a high-ranking demon would be no match for it. It's a living calamity that controls death itself. That reminds me, was that dragon even alive? It didn't look like decoration, but if it were to join the fray, then, to be honest, humans wouldn't stand a chance of winning. A lot of questions were getting thrown around. The trio just laughed in response and did their best to escape from the scene. Well, I guess we'll have to place our hopes on the hero. With this, you guys have managed to reach the same record as Masayuki-sama. If you plan to win, you'll have to find a way to deal with that boss, while Masayuki-sama is busy preparing for the war. Yeah, I was betting on you guys winning. You'll get him next time. The shouting followed them all the way as they headed back to the inn. The three collapsed on their beds as soon as they reached their room. Hey, what should we do now? Mark inquired. "There's nothing we can do, just let me rest for a bit," replied Shinji, utterly exhausted. They had enthusiastically challenged the boss, but the difficulty made the previous 59 floors look like a walk in the park. On the 60th floor, even the small fries had group coordination. A sentient monster called a Death Lord attacked them, accompanied by its own subordinates. Even after somehow overcoming these difficult enemies, and eventually reaching the boss room, in the end, they met a grisly death. "Are we reporting this to Yuki-san?" Zin's question made Shinji sit up. He sighed as he sat on his bed. Mark and Zin also sat up and the three of them faced one another. "Report it or not, that thing is impossible. Who knew the secret area would be this intense?" "Yeah, we were completely fine until the 59th floor. So, what the hell was that 60th floor?" The Death Lord was roaming around with its own platoon of Death Knights. That's a slaughterhouse for any ordinary soldier. "Yeah, that was bad. The power level of that floor's guardians shot up exponentially compared to the previous floors. Not just the knight that defeated us, but also that skeleton on the throne and the death dragon beside it. I think those three are the secret bosses." The trio started shooting the breeze eagerly. The excitement got the better of them, as they chattered away without a worry in the world. The facades they'd kept up these few days melted away. Also, that skeletal boss, who sat on the throne the whole time, is a White King. Anyone with advanced appraisal magic could have seen just what that skeleton really is. But its presence is completely different in person, compared to on a screen. Right on. If you bumped into that guy without any preparation, it wouldn't end nicely. To be honest, Zin concluded, I don't want to challenge it again. The White King hadn't even joined the battle. He hadn't moved from his throne, as if to display the dignity of a king. The Gazu monster, which seemed like a regular boss, was easily A rank. With that as a reference, the 60th floor is way too overpowered, isn't it? That was just awful. Maybe everything up until the 50th floor was just intended to lower our guard. But now I'm sure of it. There must be something in the labyrinth if such strong monsters are protecting it. Shinji concluded without a shred of doubt in his voice. I guess so. I mean, that knight named Albert was brutally strong. Even its equipment was different from the others. I tried analyzing it while Mark was fighting, and shockingly, it turned out to be a unique grade masterpiece. No wonder, and here I thought I could crush any opponent, no matter what they had, with my Minos' Bardage. Come on, beating a boss with a weapon that you've picked up only works in games. Yeah, true, we kinda overestimated ourselves, huh? Yeah. The three looked at each other again and sighed heavily. After their energetic discussion, they had finally calmed down. They brewed tea for themselves and took a breather. "Wanna give it another shot tomorrow?" Shinji asked tentatively. "Are you serious?" "It's impossible. No matter how many times we try, we'll always fail." "I thought so. That hero is that Masayuki guy Yuki-san told us about, right? I've heard that he's just a lucky teenager, but he's challenged the 60th floor, huh?" Mark remarked. "No," Shinji answered. "It looks like he hasn't. I heard he's zipping along, without dying, not even once." "And what about the others?" "There's a rumor that the strongest ones are still challenging the 50th floor. However, they didn't sign the broadcasting contract, so the highest record of those broadcasted would be Masayuki's conquest of the 50th floor. Other than that, it seems like there are several groups on the 40th floor. Even if you agreed to the broadcasting contract, it wouldn't broadcast you on every floor. Only the floors that were a multiple of 10 were equipped with cameras. Other than those, it seemed like news crews occasionally followed the challengers around for scoops during events and such. Since they had challenged the 60th floor while on air, Shinji and his group had become the talk of the town. Apparently, they also became the focus of gambling, owing to the countless records they broke. You know, Shinji pondered. I think it's likely Masayuki received some behind-the-scenes info, that being the existence of the secret bosses on the 60th floor. Then it's no wonder we lost. 2 brokenly strong guys and a dragon to top it off. Can you believe it? That labyrinth is horribly unbalanced. It was reasonably balanced till the 50th floor, so those really must be the secret bosses. I'm sure the town is beyond that floor." The three consoled themselves as they chatted, and began planning their next steps. "Now that we're in the limelight, we can't continue spying." "That's not a problem. As I said earlier, we're safer this way. We've also only been exploring the labyrinth. Then, why don't we wait for Gadra-sama to come? We can't keep challenging the dungeon by ourselves, can we? Or should we do some training?" Mark wondered aloud. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have not watched my other videos, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates.